Today I have a question for you. How does it feel to achieve so much? How does it feel to be a high achieving Black woman entrepreneur? Pause, reflect, share with us in the comments what came up for you. I was sitting with this question recently, especially as I'm taking time to evaluate my life and look at where I am right now. Look at what has been helping me and serving me into being the person I desire to be, showing up as the fullest expression of myself in full authenticity, and continue to grow. Because the more you grow, the more you realize that this work doesn't end. That the beauty of learning and growing and shedding and discovering new parts of yourself is never ending. So today in the channel, I wanted to take time and talk about how does it feel to achieve so much? Because I find that often as entrepreneurs, especially as intuitive Black women, we don't talk about this enough. And a lot of this has to do with our perception of what it means to be strong, what it means to be successful, what it means to be a leader, what it means to be the oldest daughter. For some of us, many of the women that I attract are the oldest daughter in their family. And what I want us to do is to take a look at these beliefs, take a look at what's underneath the hood of all of this, and be able to focus on what really matters. And today I want to talk to you about why what matters most is to reclaim your joy. Let's go back to this question. How does it feel to achieve so much? You may be having several thoughts coming up for you. You may hear my son in the background as well, because those are the conditions in which I'm recording right now. Some of the things that come up for me, and not just for me, but also for the women that I've worked with over the last 14 years, when I sit with this question, how does it feel to achieve so much? And you can share yours in the comments. The first one for me is exciting or excitement. I think I spelled that right, excitement. There's something exciting about constantly achieving, constantly experiencing success. It's exciting because you know you're going to win. So when you go at it, you're giving it all you have. That's how I felt when I ran my first marathon and my second marathon. I was excited about those marathons because I knew I was going to hit that finish line no matter what. I had my receipts. So there was a level of confidence I felt in that experience. Another word that comes up for me on how does it feel to achieve so much, it feels very confident. And the confidence comes from knowing your receipts. The confidence comes from looking at your action record and being able to see that you've done quite a few things. You achieved quite a few things. So you have attuned yourself to the frequency of achievement. Because one thing I want you to understand is that achievement is a frequency, not a destination. When you are in the frequency of achievement, it doesn't matter what you do, you're always going to achieve because that is what you do. That is how you show up in the world. At the same time, life in the universe is a polarity. There is something called a universal law of polarity, and that states that for every thing, there's an opposite. My favorite definition of the principle of polarity comes from this text called the Kybalion. And it states, everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. So there are moments where achieving so much can also feel very powerless. And I remember feeling like this when I was getting my master's, because I felt that decision was not for me, but for my family. I felt like I didn't make that decision myself. And there were moments where I felt powerless in that process because I was pushing myself so hard and I had so many things at the same time. I was working full time, going to school full time. I was a part-time girlfriend. I was starting my now business. I was being pulled in so many directions. And there were times when I felt really lost and confused. And in those moments, I felt powerless. And that's something that also can happen when you are someone that achieves so much. There are moments where you may feel powerless. And in those moments, you can transmute them to be powerful. We're going to talk more about that later. So at times I feel powerless. At times I also feel drained. There are moments when you're constantly achieving where it becomes second nature to always be achieving. So as a result, you may not pause and stop and look at, how am I moving? Am I giving my body the space to rest? Am I giving my body the space to replenish my energy? Do I giving my body activities that are energizing? So as I am utilizing energy for whatever I'm accomplishing, I also have the space to refresh and reset myself so I can sustain it. And there have been times when I have gotten really drained with constant achievement because it's going from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and not taking those breaks. And when we don't take the breaks to reset ourselves and to ground our energy and to refresh our spirit, that's the fast track to burnout. So drain is definitely on the list. I've also felt confused at times. And this confusion comes from not knowing whether what I'm doing is for me or for other people. This comes with being very intuitive, because when you're very intuitive, you are attuned to the energy of other people. You can easily spot their energy. And one thing that starts to happen if you're not keeping, let me give the ninja some time. One of the things that starts to happen when you're extremely intuitive and you tap into your intuition is that you become attuned to other people's frequency and you can easily spot other people's energies. So in those moments, if you don't have a practice of self-care where you are able to separate yourself from other people's energy, it can be easy for you to pick up other people's energy without knowing what is yours and what is them. And this is one of the reasons why at times I felt confused in my journey to achievement, because I'm achieving and I don't know if I'm achieving this because of me, or I'm achieving this because it's expected of me, or I'm achieving this because I'm looking to live in the past and look for some sort of external validation from my mom. And that's something that shows up for us when we're constantly achieving. It's something that I see with myself and I definitely see with my clients. On the other side of that, though, achieving so much has also brought me quite a bit of clarity. And this clarity has come from my ability to see what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy. There are many ways that we learn about ourselves and we experience self-mastery. And one of the ways that is by doing things that you don't like. When you do things you don't like, you're going to be very quick to spot the things that you do like. And that's the way that I approach it. Oftentimes, I'm finding myself doing some things that I don't like. And I do those things, it helps me see, oh, here's what I do like. Here's how I can start to answer the question, what do I want to eat for dinner? Because I've taken the time to eat what I don't want to eat for dinner and not ask questions and not show up to that question. So over time, I'm now clear, like, well, here's what I would like to eat and here's what feels good to me. And that's how these things begin to extrapolate and translate. You begin to apply the things you're learning about your process with achievement into other areas of your life. Now, what is the difference between the moments where I have felt excitement, confident, and clarity versus the moments where I felt confused, drained, and powerless? What is the difference here? What do you think the difference is? The difference is joy. The difference is how much do I enjoy what I am doing right now. I know that if you saw this You might be thinking, well, the moments when you felt excitement, you had better systems. The moment when you felt confused, you weren't taking care of yourself. The moments where you felt powerless, you were not doing this or not doing that, or you were letting this person take this thing and take that thing. And all of those things can coexist in this ecosystem. Those are manifestations of that behavior. The root cause of it, though, is joy. The difference between the moments when we are experiencing achievement and the moments that we enjoy it, that it feels good to us, and the moment that it drains us, is joy. Are you enjoying the thing that you are doing right now? Are you enjoying the activity that you are engaging in? Are you present for what you are creating? This is why it's important that you reclaim your joy. It's very important that you reclaim your joy. It's important that you reclaim your joy because you are an entrepreneur. You are an intuitive entrepreneur. You have the gift of being able to tap into other people's energetics, and you also have the gift of being able to allow that to lead you. The intuition is the voice of God inside of us. And oftentimes we have a difficult time listening to our intuition because it's not concerned with validation. Your intuition is not here for the other people can validate you. And oftentimes when we are desiring validation, we are moving against our intuition because our intuition is pushing us, is encouraging us to show up as the most authentic version of ourselves, versus our fear-based self, or what people call the egoic self, is looking to survive. In our brain, we have something called the amygdala. And the amygdala is what's called the reptilian brain. Reptilian brain. And I wish I could draw a brain. I don't know, y'all. Maybe something like this. I don't know. Something like that. And let's put the eye in here. There you go. So we have something called the reptilian brain. Hold on. Reptilian. And the reptilian brain is our brain where we hold surviving. Everything has to do with surviving. So there's actually 5 F's that we are familiar with that navigate this reptilian brain. And that is food. That's why people overeat when they are stressed. That's their response to that discomfort, is with food, whether overeating or undereating. I used to call myself a stress eater, so I'm familiar with this one. Another one is freeze. When people that are triggered by this particular survival response are in a situation that they feel very deeply uncomfortable by, they freeze. They don't take any action. They don't know what to do. They just completely kind of shut down. Then we have flight. Oh. These are people that leave the scene. If there's a fight, they want nothing to do with it. They're just going to leave the scene. They out of here. They want nothing to do with it. They are like, avoid, 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 avoid. And we're going to avoid by leaving. And on the other side of that, you have fight. These are people that are going to fight. These are people that are going to be like, let's go, let's throw down. They are very much going towards the conflict. All right. That's their approach to experiencing surviving. And then the last one, people don't actually talk about this. This is fornicate. This is when we get into sexual addictions, people that utilize sex in order to handle uncomfortable situations, and they find themselves in spaces that they're having a difficult time. They go into this. The reptilian brain is the one that comes on. So whenever you are experiencing any form of discomfort, the reptilian brain turns on like a light bulb. Let's pretend this is my light bulb. Light bulb. This looks like a light bulb, right? Let's pretend that's my light bulb. This is what gets turned on. All right. So when you are in an uncomfortable situation, this is what gets turned on, the reptilian brain, and it begins to find ways to survive. And when you are in this state, the one thing you're not thinking about is your joy. You're not thinking about your joy because you're focused on surviving. So if you have a business and your business is currently in a survival state, you are looking to like bring that business to life. So you are on survival mode. Even if in your life you're not in survival mode, it may feel like you are because you are in that situation. And when we are constantly achieving and we're not enjoying our lives, it's usually because we are in some form of survival mode. And this means that our decisions are being made by this reptilian brain. See, this is the decision maker. And we want to shift out of that, right? We want to shift out of that because when we are outside of those states, when we are in a calm internal state, you heard people talk about that. When we're in a calm internal state, this gets turned off. And your intuition gets turned on. And for the record, the intuition is always on. What happens is that we become more available to the intuition. We become more available to the way the intuition is guiding us. And this is why I wanted to talk to you about this today. Because you may be asking yourself, Yanori, how does this impact me? How does this impact me and who I am in the world? It's actually very simple. When you are in a calm state, you are the highest expression of yourself because you aren't allowing the reptilian brain to make decisions for you by ways of fear. And one of the things that happens when we do this is that we are able to be clear about how we're showing up to the world and we can enjoy our achievements. And when we start to enjoy our achievements, not just the ones that we thought had to look a certain way, the ones that came out in a different way as well, when we begin to enjoy our achievements, we are able to see that we don't have to be achieving all the time. Because the truth is that whenever it feels draining to achieve as much as we achieve, it is a clear sign that we are not honoring ourselves. It is a clear sign that it may be time for us to put the achievement on pause so that we can take a look at the root, which is us. Whenever we're feeling confused, it's because we have let the expectations of other people come into our space. We have let the needs of other people come into our space. If you experience the energy of people pleasing, this is when that's going to show up. It's going to show up as confusion. Because the energy of people pleasing is focused on letting other people guide you. And your intuition is not about that. Because everybody's on their own path. And what I really want this video to be is to be a love letter to Black women that are intuitive, that are high achieving, and that desire to channel their energy in a way that brings them joy. Because we know we can succeed. I know I can succeed. I know that no matter what I touch, it's going to turn to gold. And there are moments in my life where I have wavered. There are moments in my life where I felt like I have to shrink myself. There are moments in my life where I felt that I wasn't good enough. And in those moments, what has helped me the most, what has cleared the space for me, is my intuition. It is my intuition. And that's the beauty of being someone that is attuned to their intuitive nature, is that we can let that voice of God within us guide us. And when you know that that's what's guiding you, you're no longer looking for achievements to validate your value. You experience self-trust at a deeper level. And one thing you realize is that the more successful you become, the more successful you become, the more you find these type of moments where you got to remind yourself that your achievement doesn't validate your value. You're valuable beyond measure. You're valuable as you are. And because you're valuable as you are, and because you trust yourself at that deeper level, you can enjoy yourself. You can enjoy yourself. You can enjoy what's happening right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I recently moved to Honduras, and this move was my husband's idea. This wasn't my idea. I fully support it. I feel like it's the greatest move for us right now. It makes so much sense. And at the same time, I wasn't enjoying this experience. I wasn't enjoying this experience because I was very caught up on all the things that I wasn't getting. In a way, I felt that my move to Honduras was a bit of a downgrade because of the lifestyle I was living in the United States. And I was having a difficult time with that. And this is what happens when you are someone that's constantly achieving and you're constantly aware, constantly desiring things to go a certain way for you. You're not in the present moment. You're not in the present moment because you are focused on what needs to change. You are focused on being 10 steps ahead of the game because you think that that's what it takes to get ahead in the game. And when I started to realize how much I was really annoyed by the move and I was grieving, I was feeling deep sadness because I miss my old apartment. I miss the old space. I miss having a space. My husband and I are now sharing this bedroom. While before we had a whole 3-bedroom apartment for all of us, my husband, my child, and I. So this is a huge transition. And I wasn't enjoying this experience. I wasn't enjoying the fact that I get to start the day looking at the mountains, I wasn't enjoying the fact that I get to have my mother who had a stroke a few years ago. I wasn't enjoying the fact that I get to spend time with my niece. All of these things because I was really caught up on how things look different than I desire. I wasn't enjoying this experience because I was looking at my achievements to validate me, and the achievement would be that I can have a nicer house, and I wasn't feeling validated. And that's what happens when we are in these situations. So if you feel like that, I really want you to be graceful towards yourself because we experience this and we experience it at different levels of our career, at different levels of our success, at different levels of our lives. Anytime we're going through a transition, we're going to experience these feelings. We're going to find ourselves learning about our relationship with achievement, and it's going to be important that we learn to enjoy our journey because sometimes achievement is going to look different. So I started to realize how much I was not enjoying being here. I started to realize how much I was not enjoying my time in Honduras, a time that is very peaceful to me. Like there were a lot of things happening in the United States that really led me to move out the country. And what I was able to do when I spotted that behavior was to acknowledge it, was to come to terms with it, was to learn from it. Everything I share with you in this video is to help you feel encouraged to learn about yourself and to apply what you are learning. I've been doing this work for 14 years. So if you are an intuitive entrepreneur and you desire to tap into deeper levels of your self-trust, if you desire to feel joyful with your life and to do it honing in your skills in 90 days, I want to encourage you to hit me up. Hit the description and apply to work with me because right now I'm enrolling clients and we are going to do exactly that together. I've been doing this for 14 years and I have seen many powerful leaders experience this season in their lives. I've seen them be challenged by their own level of self-trust, be challenged by how much they don't enjoy their lives because they're focused on the achievement. And the thing that we are here to achieve the most is joy. In the years I've been working with powerful women, I have listened to the stories of thousands, I would say hundreds, almost thousands of women by now. women that I've talked to on sales calls, women that have followed me on social media, women that have sent me emails. I've been doing this for 14 years. I've spoken to a lot of women. And in that journey, I've learned that 100% of these women are looking for something very specific. And it's not material. They are looking for a feeling. They are looking to feel something, to feel fulfilled, to feel joy, to feel safe, to feel calm, to feel inner peace. What they are looking for in the form of material gains or material possessions is an internal feeling. And because I know that, I can share with you that it is what's going to serve you most to focus on that joy, to focus on what you enjoy in your life. And the more you start to do this, the easier it will be to catch yourself in the moments when you go in a different direction, because that's going to happen. And that's what I talk to my clients over at Intuitive Icons, which is a program that I'm currently opening doors for right now. So give yourself permission to enjoy yourself, to enjoy your life, to enjoy your achievements. Look at your achievements. Look at what you have done. See how you feel about it. And if there are things that you're not feeling good about, find the joy in those things. Find the joy of letting them go. Find the joy of redefining them for yourself. Because sometimes the most beautiful part about achieving so much is very simple. And that is, you can stop achieving and you can start enjoying. Imagine you in your life enjoying it. Enjoying waking up in the mornings to this beautiful life you prayed for. Enjoying waking up to this life that one day used to be a dream of yours. And now you're living it as your reality. This is what's possible for us when we tap into that energy of joy. When we set the achievement to the side and we give ourselves permission to enjoy what we've achieved thus far. This is what we can do. And when you begin to enjoy your life, when you begin to see that you can go beyond the achievement, something magical happens. You start to ignite this chain reaction of transformation with the people around you, because they also see that it's not about working hard. It's not about achieving. It's not about saying, I checked another certification or degree off the list. It's about, am I enjoying my life? Am I going to sleep feeling grateful? Am I waking up feeling excited? Am I allowing myself to be the fullest expression of who I am? Because I can always achieve. I can always win. I can always experience the next thing for me. Would I be there? Am I going to be present through this experience? And what I found that has helped me the most in this process is very simple. Is to reclaim my joy. And that's why I'm inviting you to reclaim your joy. Because it's really all it takes. And that doesn't mean that everything in your life is going to be quote unquote perfect. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have challenges. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be tested. It doesn't mean that you're not going to feel like things are not going your way. It will happen. All those things will happen. What it means though is that who you will be in those moments is going to be different. What it means is that when those moments show up for you, you're going to show up to them with the energy of love, the energy of appreciation, the energy of learning. And now that in your life you feel like your career is in a great place and you don't have to think about it, it's the best time to look at this part of yourself. It's the best time to see how is your relationship with achievement. It's the best time to see how is your relationship with joy. It's the best time to see how can you infuse joy and what does it look like to lead with joy in your life, and to do it in every single area of your life. To do it as a mother, as a partner, as a business owner, as a community leader, as a mentor, as an entrepreneur. That's the legacy that you can leave in people. You can leave not just to people. That's the legacy you can live in your children, a legacy of being the frequency of joy. That when people walk into the room, into your presence, they can immediately feel that you exude that joy. That's a different way of being. That's the way that I am inviting you to be and to play with and to see how it feels like and it is available to you. You do so much for others. You pour into the people all the time. You're constantly thinking about others. It's time you start thinking about yourself. And that you think about yourself beyond the surface. That you look at those parts of you that at times feel uncomfortable and that you learn from them and that you allow yourself to grow. If you are an intuitive Black woman entrepreneur and you are ready for community, you're ready to learn and to be in community and in sisterhood with other powerful Black women leaders, I want to invite you to join me in Intuitive Icons. It is not just a coaching program, it is an experience to bring you closer and into further alignment with that version of you that you desire to be, the version of you that loves the life that you're living and that feels deep gratitude for every single moment that you are experiencing it. Come play with us on the other side. Hasta luego.